Morning everybody, welcome to the Texas Real Estate Show, and here we are on this bright and breezy Thursday morning getting ready for the holidays and Christmas, and happy holidays to all of you, and we hope you have a great time with your family. But what we're going to talk today is about condominiums in crisis. What I mean by that, well, predominantly condos were very popular in the 70s and the 80s, and there was three types of people that was predominantly buying condos in the 70s and the 80s. One was retirees that wanted to go to Florida, that wanted to go to California, that wanted to go to another state, even the Carolinas, and basically buy a retirement home. And then the second type of people that was buying condominiums were first-time home buyers to get themselves on the ladder. And then the third type of people that wanted to buy the home was basically people that wanted a second home as a vacation home, to go with their families on a weekend and basically cut the price of their vacation. An average price in the 70s and the 80s for a condominium was probably between, believe it or not, in some areas $30,000 and $60,000. You could buy yourself a 2-bedroom, 2-bath for for that sort of money. So for retirement people that were retiring, that was very cost effective. It was probably a good way to go, and especially first time home buyers, and obviously, like I've said before, vacation home, people who wanted to buy a vacation home. Also, HOA fees at that time were probably at the most $100 a month, at the most. What's basically happened over the years, there is now a crisis in the condominium side of business. We have a real estate company. We actually manage HOA companies. And what's happened is, with events that have gone on, like in Florida, when a condominium complex basically collapsed, that's pushed up the insurance rates. Also, a lot of condominiums are on beachside properties. So you've got the salt and the water and all the elements coming in that are changing things, and also with a lot of the rain that we've got. Even in Houston, that's not directly on the coast, a condominium that I own, we had water, and it's a very high-end property. We had water in the foyer from one of the floods that we had. And all the water came in from the outside on the street and went into the foyer, because the foyer, you step down and you've got steps down, and you had water in the foyer. And it's a very high-end property.
I like that word.
All right. And so what I want to talk about today, why is that a problem? What's caused the issue? Well, I'll tell you what's caused the issue is, one, insurance has gone through the roof, okay, which has really put people that meant to this to be a first home, and they're still living in the home, because what's happened is the value of the properties have gone up significantly, but at the same time, what's gone up even more than the cost of the property as a percentage is the HOA fees. Maintenance costs have gone up. Demands from the insurance companies has gone up. There's a condominium that I own, which is a 1-bedroom unit that's approximately 850 square feet. It's a 1-bedroom, 1-bath. And basically the HOA fees this year have gone up 70% to what they were the previous year. Now, in the declarations of all these HOAs, it normally says how much you can do a property increase. And normally that property increase might be 10%, 15, 20%. That's the most they can put it up in 1 year. But what a lot of the boards have had to do is they have had to also put on top of that increase a special assessment, which is normally determined by the square footage of that particular condominium. With my condominium, what they done, it was a $6,000 special assessment over the year. And basically, they split it up in, so the first 3 months you could do $1,500. The next 3 months is another $1,500. But if you add it up over the years and you add up all the increases over the years, the increase in the HOA fee for that particular property is 70%. The more your costs are monthly for a property as an investor, the more your costs for a month, and if you're renting the property, you can get into a position where all of a sudden you're losing money on that property, which I'm actually lost a little bit, but I'm glad to say I charged a pretty high rent, and I was lucky enough to do that, so I'm keeping my head above water. But you could quite honestly lose when these HOAs make these decisions. But the other part of the equation is the insurance has gone up. There's some insurance companies in Texas that won't even insure condos. They've taken them off the table. So it doesn't really give you, a very good choice on the matter. So maintenance has gone up, building requirements have gone up. A lot of the city ordinances have gone up within the city. The HOA requirements now, what they will do, they've gone up if the electrical isn't up to date. So if you've got Pacific Federal, for example, which is a very old electric system on the electric box, if you've got that, then in the event of a fire, they won't cover the cost of rebuilding the property. So, sure.
So how do you think that's going to affect Houston and things like that? Because we are moving into, people are mainly, with condos being built up, we're not really having a lot of single family homes right now.
We're not.
So
and the problem, I think first of all, you've got to determine between a condominium and an apartment. Mm-hmm. Apartments are owned by, they look like condominiums, but they're actually owned by corporations. That's the first thing, okay? There are more younger people moving into the apartments and the apartment living because they want to stay in the city. You're the typical example. You'd rather walk somewhere, and I take my hat off to you, although I haven't got my hat on today, and you like to Uber everywhere, okay? And I think you're very smart for doing that, because the cost of a car now can be expensive with gas. You're better off doing that. Absolutely. So you've got that, but also what's happening is there are corporations and crowdfunding groups that are buying single family homes in the Houston Central. Mm-hmm. All right. So what I think is happening is people where normally they would rather buy a house are looking at condominiums. At least they own it, but the problem is with a condo, they only own part. They are a partial owner of that community.
Right.
So, but the problem is there's only equity in the percentage of the property that they own. So when it comes to voting, they don't have as much control as if they had their house. The board actually makes a lot of the decisions under the advice of the management company. And I'll give you an example. One of the properties that I own, and I've got a management the management company have just imposed, if I get a new tenant in, they're charging me $500 just to put a new tenant in as a fee to let the tenant in. Then the tenant has to pay $250 to reserve the elevator. And then every new renewal for my tenant, all right, I have to pay $395.
They have to reserve the elevator so they can move in?
Yes, with 10 days notice. So condos have restrictions.
Yeah.
The biggest challenge we have, I'll be honest with you, with condos is dog poop, not people picking up their dog poop.
Yeah.
All right. What do you do? Go around with an iPhone and take photos of dogs bending over, but condos are in crisis at the moment from a financial point.
Yeah.
From a management point, it's always been a challenge. The same challenges were in 1970 as what they are today. But what I will say is condos are definitely in crisis. The nearer it is to the coast, then the more deterioration of that property you're going to see. Insurance is going to be more. In Houston, insurance at the moment is going up an average of anything between 20 and 40% per year.
Wow.
Just the insurance premium.
Wow.
So, anybody that's thinking of buying a condo, especially as an investment, I wouldn't suggest you buy a condo as an investment.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you're charging a rent, although rents are going up, and the HOA fees are coming up, you're making less and less on that property. You know, at one time I owned 87 condominiums, and I learned the hard way. And then I started buying single family homes. If you're going to buy it as an investment, I think single family homes, multifamily, anything that basically stands by itself and is freestanding.
Yeah.
And then what we're going to talk about, the second point of the show this morning, is basically going to be lower mortgage rates, lower buyers, but sellers still scarce. And the reason why the sellers are still scarce is they were buying the houses on 2% and 3%. We bought an investment property, and actually at the time I put it under my wife's name, and we was actually viewing and reviewing it last night, and the interest rate as an investment property that she is paying is 3.75%. We have a lot of equity in the property, and I'm looking at refinance it, but I'm thinking to myself, why should I refinance it now when it's at 3.75%?
Yeah.
All I'm going to do is pay off the mortgage, get rid of the mortgage, and then we'll take 100% of the spoils. And what we've said in past real estate show comments are, as the interest rates drop, there will be more competition for people to buy houses. So if you're going to buy a house, don't hang around, go buy the house. If it's a higher rate now, then you could always refinance it later. But the lower the interest rates are going to be, the more the competition is. 2 years ago, we had one house that we valued it, and actually it was appraised at 1.1 million, and we had 45 offers on that property. So, and that's at the high end of the scale. So what I really encourage people to do is get out there, look for your house, bite the bullet at the moment, move in, settle yourself, and then basically, make sure you can buy something obviously that is affordable. Don't overextend yourself. I'm not endorsing that at all, but basically mortgage rates will come down this year, and then perhaps at the end of the year you can refinance on a lower rate. But there's basically for 2024, the prediction is going to be we continue to have a shortage of homes. If you look on the article that I've got and you go to number 1, we will have a shortage of homes for sale, especially in the southeastern United States. Yes, builders have increased production. The real estate market usually has 4 to 5 times size of construction homes. There's a home that I recently purchased. We've rehabbed it. We've put approximately $70,000 into it, and we will basically, sell the house. It'll be interesting to see how long it stays on the market. But we've basically done what I call wall to floor to ceiling rehab. It's got a new roof, it's got new fences, and any of the homes that we sell, that we rehab, we actually even give people a 2-year labor warranty on the home, because we've got teams of people that help warranty the issues, and we also give warranties on all the appliances. So the real estate market that is balanced between sellers and buyers is called in equilibrium. We are not in equilibrium. We see a 6-month inventory of homes for sale today. Today in Metro Atlanta, housing inventory is stuck at around 2.5 months. So, we're still short of homes. We do not have inventory at the moment. And what's happening is, because the problem is, I think with some home builders, they build the homes very, very cheaply. There's some home builders that I definitely would not recommend for legal reasons. Obviously, I can't name them on this pod channel, but I really think that's why it's important that you use yourself a good real estate agent that knows the industry, don't just go for a member of the family. Go for a good real estate agent that is familiar with buying a home. Examine the quality of the doors, examine the quality of the windows. Are they UPVC windows? The homes that we sell, we use a company called Window World that are absolutely phenomenal. They have a lifetime warranty on the windows. So that's basically it. 2024 is going to be a bumpy year in the real estate industry. We have got some challenges coming up, but at the same time, everybody has challenges. What I really want to do at this point is wish everybody a happy holidays, happy Christmas, happy Hanukkah. What are some of the others out there?
Kwanzaa.
Happy Kwanzaa, whichever you are. I don't, get involved in all that, BS. I want everybody to have a good time. Enjoy your time with your families. Share your families. It should be health, happiness, be nice to your neighbors, and please, enjoy the real estate that's out there. Anybody that's interested in, following us, please like, subscribe, and share this article. Please make comments in the chat. We'd love to hear your comments. It'd be nice to, to do things, anything we can do to help. You can contact us at Century 21 Olympian. We're in Houston, and we can also put you in contact with the, good agents in the state of Texas. So same time, same channel. Next week, we'll see you in between Christmas and New Year. Ta-da!